It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So we have a big end of the year event on the way starting next week, and I wanted to cover it on the channel. Additionally, next week we should be getting the Warframe 1999 actual release or release date announcement at the Game Awards on the 12th. All this stuff's going to start up on the 12th, so yeah, mark your calendars. But before we get into this information, I want to remind you that hopefully you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff in the right place for Warframe content. And we cover the Warframe 1999 update extensively once it launches. Maybe on the 12th, maybe not, because DE still hasn't given us the release date. But no, we're starting to speculate. So let's get right into it with the context of this. So if you've been playing the game the last couple days, you might have noticed that there's a little bit of weird stuff going on in the Prime Resurgence button right here, as you can see. Next offering is Varzia. It looks like we'll be farming Varzia Prime. Thankfully, no, that's not the case. We actually got a new Resurgence event announced today, even though it probably should have been announced tomorrow, with all the information on what we'll be able to farm that's returning, basically, over the next 2 months. So let's get right into it. But before I do, I want to remind you that this stuff right now, the Ivara and Oberon stuff, this is actually be going until the 19th for some reason. So if you want to get this stuff, this will be available for the next 2 weeks. Even though it says 5 days, 21 hours, they're keeping this stuff in here until the 19th of December, okay? So no real rush to grab this stuff. But yeah, let's start off with the end of the year Resurgence event information, starting with the first rotation and basically what this actually is. Okay, so we have the big Resurgence end of the year event for 2024. So collect a bunch of Warframes here. As the 2024 approaches its apex with the release of 1999, we're bringing out the Apex Orokin technology with our Prime Resurgence end of the year event. Now, I wouldn't call it the Apex Orokin technology. There's definitely some good stuff missing here, but either way. Experience a surge of powerful Prime Warframes as we launch this massive collection of Prime Resurgence reruns starting December 12th. So December 12th is a big day for us, guys. Big, big day. This event will be split into 2 rotations, with each containing 4 pairs of Prime frames. 8 Prime Warframes total per rotation. Except for it's actually kind of 10 for the first one, because they're going to be having Ivara and Oberon in there still. Along with their associated weapons, accessories, and other customizations. You have the option to pick up just 1 Prime, a pair, or just individual items to take home to your orbit. The choice is yours. So, get farming Aya right now, because there's a lot of stuff in here if you don't have all this stuff already. Okay. So, starting off with Rotation 1. This stuff starts on December 12th at 2 p.m. ET. So about 5 hours before the Game Awards starts, you're going to have this new Resurgence stuff dropping, and it will go until January 9th at 2 p.m. ET. So basically an entire month to farm this stuff. But don't worry, there's actually a last chance week after all this is done, so you have an extra week technically. So it's like a month and a week, basically. Now, what will be in this rotation? We got some goodies here for sure. You got Mag Prime and Frost Prime, so this characters that had heirloom skins, like the first heirloom skins ever, but no heirloom skins returning. And as far as their weapons, I'm going to have a hard time remembering every weapon they had, but I do know the Mag had the Boar Prime, and with Frost, I think he had like the Sicarus Prime, maybe? Either way, I don't really remember what weapons Frost had, but the frames are the main prize there anyway. Even though the Boar Prime is really, really good, Mag Prime, one of the easiest level 10,000 frames in the game. Frost Prime, pretty close as well. Very good at debuffing enemies with his 4th ability, and very good for defending stuff with his Ice Bubble. Additionally, just a pretty good frame in general. So, yeah, Mag and Frost, if you don't have them already, I'd recommend getting them, and they'll be available starting on December 12th. Next 2, Volt Prime and Loki Prime. So, Volt Prime normally comes from Baro-Katir relics, and Loki is just a normal vaulted frame. So, for Volt, you technically don't need to buy the Resurgence if you just are patient and wait for Baro. But that being said, Volt Prime, if you don't have Volt Prime for 1999, you're going to probably want it, because Volt Prime will be a very, very good frame for those missions, as they are really run and gun focused. So having a Volt in your team will be perfect, giving you reload speed, giving you movement speed, giving you whatever else Volt can do with his, help with abilities and buffs and stuff like that. So definitely want to get Volt Prime. And as far as Loki Prime, he actually is very underrated. People always say Loki needs a rework. Loki is actually more tanky than Revenant if you know what you're doing, because Loki's Safeguard Switch Augment cannot be nullified, and Mesmer Skin can be nullified. So if we're in a nullifier situation, Loki is more tanky than Revenant. So, yeah. I think Loki came with the Bow Prime as well, so if you want to get the Bow Prime and Karnan, eat your heart out. Moving on to a less exciting Prime Resurgence here, we got Rhino Prime and Nyx Prime. Why do I call this one less exciting? Well, I mean, it is exciting that Nyx is getting her rework in 1999, but these frames get unvaulted a lot, I've noticed. And as far as Nyx in particular, did you know that you can always farm Nyx Prime in-game, even when she's not unvaulted? Well, you can. If you go to Railjack missions and go to, I don't know the exact mission, I think the Veil is like the place you can go. But yeah, these missions can drop Nyx Prime relics, and Valkyr Prime relics for that matter, at any time. So you can basically farm Nyx Prime whenever you want, as long as you are willing to play Railjack missions. So, yeah. Maybe don't go and drop Regal Aya on Nyx Prime. You could probably buy her for relatively cheap from the people that farm these missions on a regular basis. That being said, though, Nyx rework is looking pretty good, so I wouldn't blame you for, picking it up just to get it right away for 1999, to get the Eleanor skin maybe as well. Now, for Rhino Prime, he is a normal vaulted frame, and he gets unvaulted a lot, to be honest, but he comes with the Boltor Prime, the Ankyros Prime, and Rhino's just really good. Rhino has the real Rhino Roar. If you didn't know this, Helmuth Rhino Roar is like half the power of real Rhino Roar. So if you want the most damage possible, bringing an actual Rhino is pretty good. But that being said, Helmuth abilities can be on frames that have more useful abilities besides just Rhino's other abilities. So, yeah. Besides that, he's got some good overguard stuff, some good CC, and things like that. But for the most part, yeah, it's the big roars which I care about on Rhino. Moving on to the last part of this first rotation, we got Trinity Prime and Limbo Prime. So yeah, just like Nyx, Trinity is getting a rework in 1999. Less exciting than a Nyx rework, but yeah, you cannot always farm her, unlike Nyx. So, as far as what you could do to get Trinity Prime, yeah, this will just be the Resurgence for you. She comes with a dual Kamaz Prime as well. I'd say she's probably worth getting. Not exactly the most meta frame, and she's not going to be meta after the patch either, but if you want like a healer that can give energy as well, you don't want to play Wisp because Wisp can't give energy, maybe try out Trinity because, yeah, she needs the help. And then for Limbo Prime, this frame definitely could use a bit of a rework, even though, he's still usable. Because ever since Overguard got added, Limbo became less of a god of the game, basically. He used to be able to, he was basically the king of the Grineer before. He would freeze them all in time. They didn't have nullifiers, Overguard didn't exist. Limbo was just basically a free win on all Grineer, because Xmas didn't have Overguard either, obviously. So, back then it was great. Nowadays, every faction has Overguard. Every faction can basically beat up Limbo. So that's unfortunate, but either way, he comes with the Streza Prime and the Piranha Prime, which are pretty outdated weapons, but still pretty fun to use. So, yeah, that's going to be your first Resurgence rotation going from December 12th until January 9th. And as far as the cosmetics, you can just look them up because I don't have all the cosmetics on hand right now. Now, the second rotation, starting on January 9th of 2025 and going until February 6th of 2025, is going to have some more unique frames for sure. They are not the ones that you vault all the time, it feels like. We got Atlas and Vauban, Equinox Prime and Wukong Prime, nice one there. Hydroid Prime and Mesa Prime, another good one there. And Gara Prime and Titania Prime. So yeah, as far as which ones here are worth getting, they're probably all worth getting, to be honest. But as far as my favorites and what all of them do, Atlas Prime is very good at using his first ability to do punching damage with some of the stat sticks we have in the game nowadays, like Ceramic Dagger and stuff like that. He can hit really, really hard. He can actually get red crits too with some of the Wrathful Advanced Kalervo helmet abilities too. So Atlas does more damage than ever. He still has the same issues where his second ability is kind of as bad. His third ability has a really limited cone of it, and then his fourth ability, the Rumbler's AI is bad, but at least the casting of the Rumbler's ability is like an AoE Petrify. So he's basically just his first ability. But that being said, he's got a pretty good passive too, where he's got basically Prime Sure-Footed when he's on the ground. So good stuff there. Vauban Prime, I want to say I don't like him, but then people got mad last time. So he has a Fletchet Orb that is affected by Nourish that can do lots of damage. Okay. Besides that, he's a CC frame. And CC is pretty much irrelevant nowadays, so if you want, throw on a Vortex, pull them all in, get the Laser Beam to blast them all with his Artillery Charge, and then, yeah, if you really want to read the abilities in depth, his Fletchet Orb has scaling damage technically. There, are you happy about it? I said he was good. We got the Equinox Prime and Wukong Prime. People give Equinox a bad rep nowadays. People are like, oh, Equinox sucks, Equinox is bad, Dante is better. I don't think that you're playing Equinox right, because Equinox is still pretty good with a nuke ability, with their day form 4th, or in night form with their, slowing and stuff like that. They can still be pretty good. That being said, I'm not calling them the best frame of the game. They're still massively destroyed by armor, And they have to get kills to actually do damage, too, which means they have to have a good weapon equipped at some point in the first place. So, yeah, Equinox Prime is fun. Won't be meta, probably, but it's still a frame that I think is worth having, but maybe not worth fully maxing out if you already have good stuff like, Sevagoth Prime and Dante and Jade and stuff like that. Wukong Prime, on the other hand, this is a very good frame for spy missions, for like just general missions. Like you could just do any mission as Wukong basically and have a relatively good time. Wukong's cloud form turns you into a cloud, and you could just fly through lasers and spy missions. You're basically invisible as well, and it can just cheese a lot of stuff. So very, very good frame there. And the weapons for these frames, I think it was Stradivar Prime for Equinox Prime, Antipodo Prime, and for Wukong it was Zhuge Prime and Ninkandi Prime. Not the best weapons, but still pretty decent. And then for the last two, here we got Hydroid Prime and Mesa Prime. These ones are both worth getting, for sure. Hydroid Prime got a rework. He's a lot stronger now. He's basically the corrosive pirate king. And Mesa is the same as she always was. She's basically a turret. She used to be more of a turret before her rework way back. But yeah, she's a turret. Just basically push forward, spin around, just destroy everything. Very good for bounties. Very good for defense missions. Just good in general. So I'd recommend getting Mesa Prime and Hydroid Prime for this Resurgence that starts on January 9th. And for the last two frames here, we got Gara Prime and Titania Prime. They're both really good. I don't really play Gara that much anymore, but I play Titania a lot. She's the best speedrunning frame in the game. You throw on a helmet ability like Thermal Sunder or Dark Verse, and she could nuke down the map really, really fast. Faster than most. And for Gara Prime, she's a defensive frame, very good for like excavations, very good for defense missions. A defensive frame that can actually nuke pretty hard, too. Her damage scales with a stat stick, so you can basically put out her glass wave and then destroy the glass wave to like release like shards of glass that do a good amount of damage. So yeah, as far as all these before we go, let's go over the last little details here. If you miss out any of these rotations, you have one final opportunity to reap the rewards of this rare rerun through the last chance event from February 6th until February 13th. So after all of this stuff goes away, so after February 6th, everything here will be in there at the exact same time on this week. Okay, so if you miss Mag and Frost, if you really want Mag and Frost, don't worry. On February 6th, you can get them back again. And during that period, you will be able to add all the aforementioned items to your arsenal for a limited time before the event ends completely. So, yeah, and then, again, the Oberon and Ivara stuff will be here until December 19th because reasons. So, yeah, that is a lot of stuff to farm. If you don't have it already, it's a lot of stuff to think about if you want it or not. As far as what are the best items of the entire Resurgence, it's going to really depend on how you, like, what your playstyle is and stuff. But for me, Mag and Frost, some of the best. Volt, for sure, amazing. I think you should get Nyx for the rework, honestly, because she might be pretty good. Rhino's great, too. Trinity, maybe. And you don't need everyone to... only need one Trinity in your team, honestly. So maybe those two you can skip. But for the second rotation, Atlas and Vobot, you can probably pass on those ones. Wukong you should get, for sure. Mesa and Hydroid. I'd say Hydroid is probably not a must-have, but he's still really good. So maybe Mesa if you're really looking to only pick the best stuff, and Titania. So yeah, Titania, Mesa, Wukong, Nyx, Rhino, Volt, Frost, Mag. And then, of course, the other ones are good too. I'm just saying, if you want to go over the bare bones stuff I'd recommend, that would be some of them right there. So, hope you guys found this video fun, helpful. Again, there's a lot of like cosmetics of these guys too. So when they do come around, make sure you consider if you like the cosmetics or not, because yeah, a lot of them are hit or miss for me at least. So I'll see you guys on stream later tonight. Hopefully you found this video enjoyable, and yeah, we will hopefully get the Game Awards announcement either launching 1999 the night of, or launching it like the day after or something like that. Because here's the issue. The Game Awards starts at 7:30 p.m. ET on the 12th. And that would mean that the WARFRAME announcement would probably come out like a half hour or an hour after, which would mean the update would be coming out at 8:30 at night or whatever, which I'm sure is a really annoying time zone for some people across the world, you know, like Europe or whatever. So, yeah. I'm in the same time zone as DE, so I'd be okay with playing a new update at 8:30 at night, but I don't think most other people would be. It's kind of a weird idea, but we'll see about that. So let me know what you feel about this video down below, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Peace.